Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And did you think the meta was settled for season 1? No. Class tuning is incoming on July 21st, and unlike a lot of the other videos that we've been covering with patch 12.1, this is going to affect you on Tuesday on the reset, and these are PvP specific adjustments. So let's dive into this here. We've got some nerfs to Demon Hunter survivability. When they land an interrupt, they will now take only 5% reduced damage, down from 15. I think that's a fair nerf. I think a lot of those interrupt-based damage reduction mechanics are just like, it's just too much. Like, you're already kicked on your damage or whatever, and now you're just passively tankier. Glimpse is also going to have its damage reduction component reduced from 35% damage reduction to 25%. So when these Demon Hunters are backflipping all over the place, they're going to take a little bit more damage. I still kind of think Devourer and Havoc is still going to be pretty much untouchable to dot classes. With these changes, unfortunately. I think their leech healing, their recoverability through dots in meta is still the main thing there. Like, these are nice, but I kind of think they're still not going to be a really big target. Mistweaver Monks, I'm surprised that they actually decided to do this one before 12.1, because I thought they were going to do it later. But they are nerfing the amount of healing that Way of the Crane will transfer from Spinning Crane Kick, down from 340% to 100%. So the spinning builds from Mistweavers aren't going to be hard counters to BM Hunters and to Unholy DKs. Now, that's a pretty massive nerf to Mistweaver, because that was a huge build for it and a reason it won like a lot of solo shuffle lobbies. Maybe this means the end for Mistweaver. We don't really know. But it's definitely very dangerous in those specific matchups where you had a massive advantage. This was a big issue. They are addressing it. I do have a little bit of concerns possibly for their overall viability without it. Time will tell. For Holy Priest, you guys are getting also some attention here. They're just buffing your damage on Holy Fire by 15%, but the direct, and then I think 27% on the dot. The dot is really small. The direct, I think, is going to be mostly noticeable. And then a little 3%. The 3% guy had to come in here for this possible final tuning round, of course. We had to get him in here. 3% more healing on the top there. Holy Priest is definitely the weakest healer. Damage contribution is an issue. Overall throughput's an issue. Honestly, I think its main thing is just all of its healing is based around healing output and not damage reduction. So in Solo Shuffle, where dampening reduces healing, it reduces the effectiveness of your entire class, whereas other healers have damage reduction, which aren't impacted by dampening. And most games are going to dampening in Shuffle, right? Although I actually like the pace once dampening gets pretty high, but for Holy Priest, they suffer the most because they don't have tools to combat against that. So like, this is nice. Maybe it enables them to win a little bit earlier, but with 3% more healing, once you get into dampening, that gets negated anyways. For Discipline Priest, they're buffing all of their healing by 3%, which is surprising because it's such a highly represented healer at the moment, and in my opinion, really strong. So I'm kind of surprised to see that. But Disc Priest stonks are going up. And Resto Shamans, you weren't forgotten this time around. They're buffing your Riptide by 15%, giving you a little bit more instant, direct recovery. So we see some of the underdog healers getting buffed, a minor amount of damage reduction around Demon Hunter, and then pet classes, you are free to roam. You are free to dominate the arena once again uncontested, because the Mistweaver Monks will no longer be countering you. I'm wondering why they didn't push the Prez Evoker changes forward as well that are happening at 12.1 with them, as crazy as they are as a flag carrier. Maybe it's just too much of a change for the class's operations, because it'll affect how they operate against slows in all capacity. Maybe that's why. But definitely good changes. I think good changes. And it's just a little bit of a tweak here. I mean, that shift on Mistweaver and Shaman could be pretty huge for these last couple of weeks. Like, if you're a Shaman player trying to push and you were struggling, I think this might be the time to get in there. But it's just a quick one. Here on this Friday, July 21st. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you want to see the interview that just happened with Ian Anzacostas and Mr. GM and a bunch of other creators involved with that, I did upload it. It talks about PvP in it, actually, which I was surprised. And a lot of good stuff, honestly, for PvP. And then maybe a little bit of disappointment verbiage for PvP as well included in that. So thank you guys for watching once again, and I will see you in the next one.